Clerk, any petition?
On Friday, it appeared a normal day at Parliament House. The opposition seats were empty at the start of the session, but Parliament had enough numbers to allow the acting Speaker to call the House to order. No hitches as question time began.
Marabe Stephen, now I am Marabe Basit government.
And as the Western Province Governor reached midway through his question without notice on the government's plans to subsidise rubber, opposition MPs streamed through the left side of the House. As Prime Minister James Marape and what was left of the government looked on, and as viewers watched the development live on Facebook, an initial 10 ministers announced their defection to opposition ranks. Later, Sem Basil, who only recently was elevated to the second most powerful position in government, took up a new seat next to the opposition leader, Belden Nama, announcing a challenge to the Prime Minister and the government. About 45 minutes into question time, and with the opposition numbers swelling past the government's own, opposition leader Belden Nama flexed his numerical muscle, calling for a suspension of standing orders.
There is a call of objection to the motion. Opposition leader, if you want to, the leave is not granted. There will be no division. Honourable members, opposition leader, if you want to pursue on to your motion, you will have to suspend the standing order to move on to your...
Mr. Speaker, I move that so much of the standing orders be suspended as would prevent me from moving the state in a matter of consideration.
Fast forward and 2 hours later, opposition MPs backed by their new supporters had subdued the government on the floor. The House adjourned to December, effectively delaying the passing of the budget by a month. Both camps went straight from the chamber to separate news conferences, both sides claiming a majority of numbers.
I am really interested in a body of young, like-minded leaders who want to transform PNG for the better. Yesterday we delivered ICAC, a bill that was outstanding for so long. This is a testament to the muscle this body of leaders have with me, who influenced government caucus to change, and we brought the government business into the floor of Parliament. Passing ICAC, changing resource laws, talking about getting more from our natural resource back to our country. Example, our discussions that is happening in Pogra, that is standing a good 10 with the discussions that is currently going on. This body of leaders are fighting to take back our country's resources and to give and plow back more into our country to ensure our country is never the same again. And I respect my brothers who left our camp here and have migrated to Hotel Crown. That's their choice. We respect them. But in the next 14 or 16 or 17 days, sanity will prevail, and the numbers we have will build up again to over 56.
In this camp, we have 61. We have PNC as 15. We have the National Alliance, have 6 MPs. The United Labour Party has 10. People's Progress Party, 5 MPs. The PNG party, whom I represent, has 5. Our Development Party, with Social Democratic Party and Country Development Party, they want us to group them together. They have 7 in total. Then you have the Liberal Party, the newly formed party of Sir John Pundari, with 3 MPs. The United Resources Party has 3 MPs, and I have been whispered in the ear by the leader that you will ensure that by this afternoon, you will have all of them here in this house.
I have been part of the Marape government for the last 18 months as a treasurer, briefly, and international planning, and then recently as Deputy Prime Minister. I have made this decision also on behalf of my party and on behalf of the Workers' Union in Papua New Guinea, who are suffering right now.
For James Marape, this month is about defending his government's decisions. He has come under fire over the Porgera mine, where negotiations with the operator, Barrick, have soured so much the company CEO travelled to Papua New Guinea to talk. The Prime Minister wants state ownership. Barrick is unwilling to give in that easily. The delay in reaching a solution after the end of the mine lease has cost jobs and businesses. The PM says there will be better days ahead.
I want to give assurance to our country. Don't get caught up in this hype that is running. Remain static in wherever you are, at work, at school or at home, and allow us politicians to play this out. We will resolve it in the manner that is normally resolved in a democratic nation.
We have been observing as backbenchers as well, and there is a sense that our country, unfortunately, despite all the rhetoric, the reality is that this country is going backwards. We are getting deeper and deeper into debt. We are extremely concerned that many of the opportunities, like the resource projects that were ready to go, 18 months, they've been delayed now.
Last night, hours after 43 opposition MPs left for Vanimo, the Prime Minister attended a dinner hosted by Enga Governor Sir Peter Ipatas. The Enga Governor is an important figure for keen observers of PNG politics. His moves are subtle but too important to dismiss. And it was like this 18 months ago. His decision to support James Marape opened a floodgate of MPs, exiting the PNC-led coalition. Last night, a dinner with the PM as official guest, and Porgera, the most important project in his province, a topic of discussion.
What is it? Why should politicians, for instance, who are from this country, support a foreign investor when you know that we are only trying to increase, better our stake in resource? You know, for many, many years, we've allowed this to happen, and people have been reaping our resources without a good return for our own people. So here we have got a Prime Minister and a government. We're trying to do the right thing.
Let's respect all our multinationals who work with us. They're not here to play politics. It hasn't come out from my mouth. Tonight I give respect to all our industries who are in country. They're big boys. They don't get involved in small-time local politics.
Gold mine, copper prices were going up, and Porgera was closed. Then he began to change his mind. He started ringing Barrick to come and talk again. And one of them kindly died. Second point, I was Minister for Health. He brought a decision on that so-called 10 million on those research proposal without consulting me, one of the most experienced health ministers in this country.
While accusations may have resonated with some of the audience watching the live broadcasts, public opinion has been far more critical against the opposition for their timing of their attempt to dethrone James Marape. The budget has been delayed, leaving many people unhappy. Sam Basil moved months after being given the Deputy Prime Minister's post. Pukatemu switched sides yet again, and all this is being weighed up against them through public opinion. A clear candidate as an alternative Prime Minister will have to be decided, and this will have to be done among a coalition of former Prime Ministers, Deputy Prime Ministers and party leaders. Next week, the government says it will decommission the 13 ministers and put their former jobs on the negotiating table, and tough decisions will have to be made on both sides.